Hello, everybody. Sorry for the delay. I had some major technical difficulties handling here, but got Marci here from Ontario. Thank you
Canada.
for joining. Yes, thank you for joining me, Marci. And what time of day? What's the time difference in Canada?
We're 5 o'clock p.m.
Okay, so same.
Yes, Eastern
Oh,
Standard Time.
nice, nice. Well, good. We're on the same time zone. Well, then perfect. Well, thank you for coming, and we are here to talk about community involvement. And Marci has done really well in her career and gets a lot of business and self reward from community involvement. So we're going to learn everything she has to tell us.
Well,
Yes.
I think it starts off organically. There's a lot of people who don't become engaged in their community, and you have to do something that you're really passionate about. So for me, it started, I used to be a sewer and I wanted to work with youth. So I contacted the Orillia Youth Center, and I knew that um, basic sewing skills were not being met. So once a week, I would go and we would sew buttons on, hem pants, make dog beds, just for 2 hours once a week.
Okay.
And that's how it started out.
Okay. And then where is it now?
I still go once a week, but the number of students has grown and our projects have evolved. The last one we did a quilt, and each youth did their own. hmm
Nice.
So it's very rewarding to do. I get a lot out of going to the youth center because a lot of these are marginal kids and
Wow.
they don't even know how to operate scissors,
Wow.
uh, thread, thread a needle,
Wow.
and they're pretty anxious to learn.
Well, and I'll tell you, sewing is a skill that a lot of people are not. I like to sew too, but sewing is a skill a lot of people don't do. And it's crazy to me when my own children are like, "Can you sew this button on?" To me, that is a life skill that every single person in the world needs to know. I mean, it's just pretty basic skill, but it's so important.
So that's how it started for me. So just the sewing, and then it evolved into when during COVID, there were a lot of shut-ins. So we
Mhm.
started doing meals once a week for families,
Wow.
and that was again very rewarding. And through that, I just find when you belong to an organization, you meet people, you get an awareness of what's going on in the community.
That's right.
People get to meet you, know, like, and trust, and you're doing it genuine, genuinely.
See, and I think everything you just said is very important. You're getting to know people where they know, like, and trust you, right?
Mm.
You're consistent. You do it once a week, every week. And the third thing you said was know, like, trust. And then
Oh,
there was,
fulfillment, like
yeah,
emotional
fulfillment. There you
fulfillment.
go. That's right. I did a couple of years ago before COVID. I volunteer. I like to do woodworking as well. And I volunteered at an organization called Kids Making It,
Okay.
and it's for at-risk youth,
Mhm.
to get them off the street after school and teach them a skill. So I didn't do it very long because once COVID hit, they closed down,
Yeah.
and then our office moved from downtown. There was a couple of things that I didn't go back to do, but actually it's on my list to rejoin it because it was so fulfilling. What that organization is, which is a phenomenal organization, is it teaches the kids a skill, but
Mhm.
also anything they make there, almost everything that they use is donated or a very low dollar amount.
Yes.
And so, and they sell all of their stuff. So on the back end of the shop is woodworking. On the front end is a sales store.
Mhm.
The public can go in and buy it, and 100% of the proceeds goes to that student. So there was one guy that I was talking to that he was making like $1,800 a month, and this is on the side after school, a couple of hours. But when he graduated, this program actually did a step two, and it was for the kids that were truly skilled. Because he was saying because of liabilities, you couldn't have a kid that had you couldn't have a kid that had graduated high school
Mhm.
mixed in with a kid in high school
Right.
because of insurance and purposes, safety purposes, I guess. But they had opened a second building that was going into more detailed, like making cabinets, like cabinetry, for those kids that had graduated and wanted to level up. I thought it was such a good organization. And you're right, you take something that you're passionate in, then you enjoy going, and
Yes.
you get to meet all those volunteers that are there mine was every week for 2 hours. Yeah.
Do you, are the schools in your community teaching woodworking? Not at all.
Nope. Nope.
It-
This
So
was a
our,
nonprofit organization in
high,
downtown.
the high school curriculum is going back to having fashion, and so but you don't have to take it. It's an
An elective.
option.
Yeah, they
So
used to do construction, and there might be still one local school that does it. I'm not sure. But but they actually earn money, so it's good,
that's really good.
Yeah. And it was fun. But tell me about yours. So how long have you been doing this?
15 years
Wow.
doing the volunteering.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then how many people volunteer with you?
There's youth workers, so it's just really me. Sewing with Marci. That's what they refer to it as.
What do they call it?
Sewing with Marci on
Oh,
Wednesdays from
I
3 to
love
5. Mhm.
I
And
love
I've been at the center a couple times where they want me to come in more, that the youth are telling me that, but
it.
it's once a week, and they've got a lot of other things going on. So,
Well,
but
probably more than that's too much,
yeah,
to keep your sanity and keep you. I mean, you do have to work too. So,
and they like instant gratification. So you have to have projects that you can do in one session.
I get it. Yes. And then your sessions are how many
2
hours?
hours.
2 hours. Well, that's fun. And then do you know if you're ever, and I hate to quantify it, but have you ever actually figured out how many closings you got from it?
No, but I can tell you that I've had a lot of brand awareness and free articles in the paper and
Ah,
on Facebook, like a
that's
lot of
phenomenal.
that
Yeah.
it's un, how can I put a price on it?
No, I
So
100% agree. You're right.
having that kind of publicity
Hmm.
that I don't ask for, but because I'm doing something that I really enjoy and the community sees that there's a need for it, there's probably been about 3 or 4 articles written about the sewing
Wow.
program.
That's
And
awesome.
I would say, so from that group, I've had probably 3 employees buy houses.
Ah, wow.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal. That
And
is
then I'm
phenomenal.
also involved in an arts community. We had something in our town called Streets Alive, and that started in 2006. And I made all this bunting for the streets downtown. And of our committee, there were 5 of us, and each of those women bought a house from me.
Wow. See,
Yeah.
anytime you have the opportunity to meet somebody
Yeah.
and not thinking about selling a house, right? You just truly have an opportunity to meet somebody new and get to know them. That is also an opportunity to sell a house. But I think you can't think about it in work, right? You have to think about it in truly giving back. But on
Mhm.
the flip side, the reward, other than self-fulfillment, which is very, very, very important, but you do get some financial reward from it too, which I also think is important. Yeah, I used to do when my kids were little, I was PTA president forever.
Yeah.
And in the middle of it, it stressed me out because I'm talking, I worked 20 hours a week at the school, plus was a single mom, plus was a real estate agent trying to do all of this. And one point I just remember thinking, I must be crazy. Like, I don't have time to do this. But on the flip side, it was my number one source of business for those 2 years. So, yeah.
Well, my daughter works with me, and she is the president of the board of our local women's shelter. So she's
Wow.
like yourself. She was putting in 20 to 30 hours of volunteer work.
Wow.
She has a 4-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 1-year-old, and a
Wow.
husband. So
She's got a lot going on,
I
but she
know.
still takes time to volunteer. So,
And
Marcy, and
that's
I met you and your daughter at R4. It was a pleasure meeting you.
yes.
And it was pretty brave of you to come on here the first time right after R4. So, thank you. Thank you. How did you like R4? That was your first R4, right?
It was. I didn't know what to expect. It, it was great to see so many Remax people. I love the brand. I like the new branding,
I like
the
it too.
speakers. I found that there were some good breakout sessions, but I really enjoyed meeting and um, getting referral partners, like meeting yourself.
Yeah,
And Kyla met
absolutely.
a young woman from Columbus, Ohio, and
Wow.
she's the same. She's a mom of 3 kids, and she's going to come to Toronto and see us.
Ah, see,
Yeah,
I think the connections are real. The brand is deep, the connections are
yeah,
real.
yes.
And it is, I think, excellent too. So, what was your favorite session? Like, can you think of one thing that you learned?
I really like Brian DeFini.
Yes.
He's just a constant. He reminds us that it's all about know, like, and trust. Be authentic to who you are. You
That's
can't
right.
be someone you're not. Don't be chasing the flashy, whatever's the
And
hot.
agents do that. Even if it's from company to company, they always seem to be chasing that flashing object.
Yeah,
But it really, you just spin wheels and waste time.
yeah. I've been in business 20 years, and I've always been with Remax.
Yeah,
And
that's awesome.
people say, oh, it's not about brand awareness, but we've had calls uh, for people who want to sell their houses. And I said, why did you call? And they remember Remax.
See, that is
Hmm.
wonderful. Yeah, there's huge brand awareness. Everybody remembers the balloon,
Yeah,
and you've got a little patriotic, the red, white, and blue,
yeah,
and just within the brand, I mean, you do get a lot of referrals, agent to agent referrals
yeah.
by being with the brand.
What did you enjoy?
Um, well, what I learned the most is that I don't know enough about AI.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I was kind of amazed at
yeah.
the way everybody was using AI and realizing that I was only using about 1% of it. I thought I was actually using a lot with AI, but it turns out not really anything compared to what everybody else was doing. And so since I've been back, which I didn't get back till late Thursday, I've been trying to figure out the AI component, but I've only had like 5 minutes here and 5 minutes there. So I need some time to dive into it and see if I could try to figure some of these things out.
How are you going to incorporate it in your business?
People were talking about putting appraisals in the AI so the AI learns how to read it, and then having the AI create an unofficial appraisal, because right, because you're not an appraiser,
Right.
um, using um, the specifics from the appraisals entered to create an appraisal for the house you're getting ready to list. Somebody else was
Okay.
saying they put their inspection reports in it
Hmm.
and told it very specifically. And that's the part of it I missed is like the exact prompts, but it
Hmm.
was said like to be very specific and say, take the inspection report, itemize it from the most expensive repair item to
Right.
the least expensive for Wilmington, North Carolina,
Hmm.
28401 zip code. And that it would list everything out and price it for you
Hmm.
based on your location. But then somebody else did say that they had gotten a lawsuit for doing that
Hmm.
because when the buyer bought a house based off of this estimate that AI did,
Yeah.
contractors actually didn't work for that price. So I think you have to be very cautious
Yes.
and use it to elevate what you already know,
Hmm.
but also keep in mind, you're not an appraiser, you're not a contractor. I
Right.
think it's important that we stay within our lanes.
Stay in our lane.
That's right.
Do, do
And
you
then
get
pretty much
do you get
what?
an inspection for every house before you sell? A
No, no,
pre-listing?
no. For my buyers before they buy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you guys?
But the same thing, just on the buy side.
Okay.
But we're
Yeah.
not doing pre-listing
No,
reports.
the only time I do it pre-listing is if I go to the house and I could specifically see that there is a problem or a potential problem, or I think there might be a problem,
Hmm.
then I'll say, hey, we need to go ahead and have it inspected. But that's rare that I do that. I mean, it's truly when I'm like, what is causing that problem? You know?
Yeah. Mhm.
Usually with the flooring. Usually it's something in the crawl space that I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, we need to get somebody to come check this out.
Yeah.
What
How
kind
long
of,
did,
I'm sorry,
and
guys.
what else did you get from the conference?
Um, were there a couple other things with AI? Like you have to tell the AI, like ask me 10 questions about me that you need to know in order to write more like me.
Yes.
I thought
Mhm.
that was kind of impressive. I mean, I thought that was very impressive. I just came back really with AI knowledge. The other thing I came back with, I did sign up for Brian Buffini, both of his. I signed up for the 100 Days of Greatness, which I did like, I don't know, 16 or 17 years ago. And I
Yes.
also signed up for his new designation one, the
CP.
yeah, whatever. It's like the elevated
Yes.
services that you
So did
provide.
we. So did we.
Yeah, they are both great.
Pardon?
You said they're both great.
We signed up
Oh,
for
you
the
did. You did
new
too. Yeah.
designation. And then
Yeah.
he's coming to Toronto in April, and I'm
Ah.
thinking of going to that. Just he really inspires you.
He is. And
Yeah.
I didn't realize that he was a Remax agent before he was a coach.
Oh,
That was one of the things he showed a picture of him on the opening
oh,
session when
yes,
with him
I
in
saw
front of
that.
the balloon, and he was like young.
Mhm.
Not that he's old now, but he was like 30 years younger than what he is now. So it was pretty
But
impressive.
he's been in the business for 30 years.
Yeah, a long time, a long time.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you got to meet Sia, but Sia is a great friend of mine from Brooklyn. But she was there. Did you get to meet her?
No.
Well, then I'm gonna have to set up a meet for y'all because she is a wonderful person. You would love her.
And she's in Brooklyn.
Yes.
We could go to New York.
See, there you go. That would be fun.
Mhm.
Um, will you go to R4 next year?
Unfortunately, with the Canadian dollar, it's
Uh,
really, you know, I'd rather go to NAR or Inman.
Inman, I heard was a really good conference. I have
I
not
think
done that one yet.
that's what I'd like to do.
I heard that one's really good. I'm going to Celebration in a couple of weeks, which is through the Residential Real Estate Council, RRC,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's in Nashville.
Okay.
That's a really, I didn't go last year because it was in Vegas, and I really don't like Vegas enough to go to 2 conferences in Vegas.
Yeah.
But this year it's in Nashville, so I'm actually taking a few members from my team with me. So we're
And
going
when
to
is that?
March, I think it's 17th through the 19th.
Okay.
Might be, I think I'm pretty sure it's 17th through the 19th.
All right. Well, keep me posted on those kind of conferences because
Yeah.
I'd be interested in that. But I was just away for the month of February, so I have to get back to work.
Yes, absolutely. I get that. Yeah, I get that.
How's your market?
Right now, super busy. I've had the best first quarter that I've ever had in 18 years.
Wow.
Um, it now as a team, we are within, I think, 1.5 million of doing what we did in 2022. And in
Okay.
2022, we had 12 agents, and now we have 8.
Okay. That's
So
good for you.
yeah, that getting my average price point is 400,000. So it's pretty amazing that we've almost done what we did in 2022 when the
For the
market
whole
was,
year.
yes.
Yes.
Well, no, for the first quarter, comparing first quarter to first quarter.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was going
Yeah.
to say,
But
because
there's
you're
a
on
lot more
fire.
agents. We had
You're on
4 more
fire.
agents in 2022 than we do now.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that's good. Yeah, I'm super excited. I think 2025 is going to be a great real estate year. What about you? How's your market?
Well, we're dealing with 14 feet of snow, which is unprecedented. Yeah,
Wow.
so the month of February. So today it was 2 degrees melting, and people can't get to their properties. But and we're
Wow.
just there's been some with the politics, and
Yeah.
we just had a provincial election, and people are sitting on the fence.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think once spring comes, but then today I was involved with a waterfront list property. There were 4 offers, and it was listed for 1.3,
Oh,
and
wow.
everybody went in clean. But I don't know what it ended up selling for. But we
Yeah.
didn't get it,
Dang.
so I
Dang.
don't.
But 4 offers, I mean, that does show people are buying. What's your average price point, Marcy?
6 to 700, about 700.
Yeah, so it's, I mean, that one that listed that had, it was well above your average.
Yes.
So that's
We're
good.
we're located on 2 lakes, and we're close to a major city,
Uh,
and that brings people for the lifestyle. Mhm.
Absolutely, but it's cold there. Today was a little bit colder here, but it was like 54. I've never
54.
experienced 2 anything.
Well, 2 degrees would be, well, about 38
Oh, wow.
probably, but yeah.
Still
We
kinda
we we
cold.
typically don't get that much snow,
Yeah.
but it's like we're in a little bubble.
Yeah, it's been a really weird weather year. We typically get no snow, and this year we got 6 inches, which
Yes.
is unheard. I mean, we probably haven't had snow in 12 years,
Okay.
maybe 10 to 12. So for us to get 6 inches, and it stayed for a couple of days, which is also never heard of because usually it'll snow and then melt immediately. So I
Mhm.
think this year the weather, I mean, even Florida had snow.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
mean,
the
that's weird.
weather patterns are changing.
Yeah, they
Mhm.
are. It's weird.
But it's people say it's not global warming, it's cyclical. When we were kids, the snowbanks were 4 feet high,
Yeah,
and that's what they were this year.
that's
So
right.
I
So
don't know.
maybe you're right. I mean, I don't know. I don't know enough about it to say, but I would agree more
Cyclical.
whatever the word is. Yeah.
Cycles,
So,
cycles, it
how do
goes
you
in
say it?
cycles. Mhm.
Yes. I could draw a
Yeah,
circle.
yeah.
Well,
Mhm.
anyway, well, it was so nice to meet you
Yes, you too.
and for you to join, and I really appreciate that. And if I have anybody going to Ontario, I know who to call.
Okay.
I
All
can get
right.
one. Well,
Well,
and
thank you for inviting me.
yeah,
It
I'm
was
so
great to talk about. I think more agents really do need to do volunteer work. It
uh,
really gives you an emotional fulfillment, and it's good for your business. Even though that's not why you go into it, it just makes your network larger.
well, you know what? And then also sometimes, especially as I get older and my kids are adults now,
Mhm.
I find that all I do is work. Quite literally, I work and I eat out.
Yes.
That's like all I do every
Mhm.
single day. I need to start working out, but that's on my agenda to start as well. But I think when you have something like that that you volunteer with, gives you the opportunity to not only volunteer, it helps you make friends. It helps you. I mean, this job profession is a hard job profession, and
It
you
is
could truly work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, if you're,
easily. Mhm.
So it's nice when you make yourself um, volunteer, and then you fall
Well,
in love with volunteering, and then you start seeing the rewards, not, with self-fulfillment, but also financial. So it's
yeah,
beneficial.
for sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Plus you're in there with people with like-minded interest.
That's the big thing.
Yeah.
And different age groups. Like the
Yes.
young woman who's a youth worker, she's my daughter's age. And we sit down like a couple magpies and laugh and just talk about current events or things that are
Aw,
going on. And it keeps me young because I know what's happening
that's
for
right.
you. That
That's right.
otherwise they'd be
The
untouched.
young language.
Yes. Mhm. Mhm.
Well, I appreciate you, and I love this, and thank you so much, and thank you for giving back to your community.
Well, thank you. And it
Yeah.
was great meeting.
Yes, it was a pleasure. Absolutely. Did you like the concert? 'Cause I met you right on the outside of the concert. Not the
Pardon?
concert. Was that opening session? I think it was opening session.
Oh, the opening session I loved.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah, I
that was
did
good.
too. Good.
Didn't make it to One Republic.
I didn't either. I flew out early Thursday morning. I had to leave the airport at 4 a.m. and I went to bed and packed and did everything I needed to do to make sure I didn't miss my flight.
I know, and it's tough traveling. Like I think our travel day was about 8 hours.
That's ours too. Ours
Yeah,
takes 6 to 8, depending on the layover.
yeah,
And then with the time change, with 3 hour time change, that's really hard.
yes. Mhm,
Yeah. And look,
mhm.
I've got my friend Mark Cruz is saying, hey, Mark. He's in Denver, Colorado. I don't know if you had a chance to meet him. Did you,
Oh,
Marcy? Oh, he's excellent. Denver. If anybody needs a Denver agent or an
okay.
Ontario agent or a Brooklyn agent, we have you covered.
Yoo-hoo.
That's right, just about anywhere. But anyway, well, thank you for your time, Marcy.
You take care.
Yes, I appreciate you.
Okay,
Bye.
bye-bye.